Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. You're crafting with Heather Thomas, the Songbird Stamper, and I'm here to show you how to make a very special envelope for a very special card. Sadly, I don't have the card to show you because I have already given it away as a gift really to my lovely downline who promoted last week. But I did take some photographs. They're over on my blog post. That's the video that this is accompanying, and it's www.thesongbirdstamper.co.uk, but I'll pop a link to it in the description below so you can find that and see the pictures of the card as well. But I was trying to write everything down and I thought maybe a little video would be easier. So I've used the Oh So Ombre Designer Series paper. It's gorgeous Designer Series paper. It's free at the moment with a £45 spend. I've used quite a lot, but you get these gorgeous patterns, 4 different colours, the Bermuda Bay, the Granny Apple Green, and then you've got the Rococo Rose and the Blackberry Bliss as well. So I've used a sheet of that. It comes in 6x6 and I have trimmed this one down. And I've trimmed it down to, it is, where is here? I've written it down somewhere, 13 centimetres. Okay, so I've kept it at this top 6 inches, and that's 15.3 centimetres roughly. And I've trimmed it down to 13 centimetres end to end here. And I've scored it at 1 centimetre all the way around. So the first thing we're going to do is fold and burnish those score lines. Try and keep these as neat as possible and as square as possible. Sometimes when you're doing small flaps, it can be quite easy to fold them off centre. So when you fold it, just make sure that this end and this end line up there. Then all we're going to do is cut away these bottom squares. So just trim away those bottom squares. No notching, just straightforward, cut them away. Then we're going to need a piece of cardstock, and this is going to make the back panel. This is cut to 10.8 centimeters. Sorry, this one is cut to 14.3 centimeters by 11 centimeters. Again, I'll put all the measurements just in the post below. It's really quick and simple to make this envelope, but I just wanted to share that with you on the video rather than in writing. So you can use tape or you can use glue. I'm actually just going to use both. A little bit of liquid glue just there to hold that flap in place, and there as well just to hold that piece in place. Try and make sure it doesn't squeeze out though onto the underneath, which I think I may have done just in here. So I'm just going to try and take that away because we don't want any glue on the underneath. It just wants to be on the flap because I can't really see what I'm doing very well. While that just dries there, this is the part I've cut for the top flap. You could probably make this all in one go. I haven't. I've done it separately, and I think I've done that so that I can gauge where this flap goes. But if you think of another way, then you can add these in all as one part. But this is 10.8 centimeters by 5.5, so it's ever so slightly narrower than this top section. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just cut away. Again, you could do this really neatly, and one of the ways I'll show you how to do it neatly is just line it up on your grid paper here, and then take a pen or a pencil and just mark an equidistance in from each side. And again, you can have this as narrow or as wide as you want, and then from that mark cut up to the top of the join here. So this piece was 10.8 by 5.5 and I've scored it at 1 centimeter just to create a little flap. And then I'm just trimming that down so we've got more of a notched effect. So this should be dry now. I'm going to take some tear and tape. I'm hoping this is just narrower than my score line, which it is, and just pop some tear and tape. I said to somebody yesterday, it's called tear and tape because you can just tear this adhesive, but I never ever do. I only ever cut it with my scissors. Try and get that as much up to the top as you can before you trim it. Try not to go over the edges. Now I wouldn't mail this envelope. This envelope needs to go in another pack, in another envelope, or if you're sending a little gift, pop it in a brown box and parcel it up. Peel away the backing tape. Sometimes I find my take your pick tool quite handy for this. And then this is our backing, this is the back of our envelope, this is the front of our envelope, and all I'm going to do is line that up as squarely as you can and place that down. Okay, so now we have our envelope. Now I cut the card that I made. This isn't the card I made, obviously, and your card will be a lot bulkier than this if you're making a special card, to 14 centimeters, because that will just fit inside there height wise then. Okay, and it just fits in there width wise. If you're making a really bulky card with loads of embellishments, you're going to need a slightly bigger envelope, so you'll need to make that wider. Okay, the height will stay the same, the width will just change, but that's fine for a normal card with just a few embellishments on it. And then you've got this flap. Okay, you can stick this on over the top if you wanted to. I'm going to stick it inside, and that's why I've just cut it to slightly narrower. So it's 10.8 rather than 11, and we're just going to stick that on the inside. And I tend to do this with the card in situ, because then you'll know how much so when you put your card in, you'll just need to make sure it goes over the bottom flap. There we go. Okay, because at the bottom you've got this centimetre flap that's folded in on itself. Yeah. So pop some glue down. You can either use tape or you can use wet glue. Wet glue might just go everywhere. I'm just going to pop some tape down. Take your envelope, make sure you're not sticking it onto your card, make sure you're sticking it into the envelope. And then line that up. Okay, so you can see the score line here. Line that up, make sure it closes down over, and then you can press that in place. But doing that means you know your envelope, your flap will close. And you can have this shorter if you want this shorter, you just trim a little bit off, that's not a problem. You can even do that after you've made it. But I think sticking the flap in separately, if you had a really bulky card and you needed more of a gap between the top here and here, you could just pull this out slightly, and then that will make sure it closes neatly over. And that's really it. I've used the Pool Party ribbon, part of the, where is it? I can see you. I've used this Pool Party ribbon, which was part of the Whale of a Time suite, and all I did was wrap this round and tie it in a bow to close. Okay. And then I created the flap that you can see. And I did use magnets on this. I didn't stick it underneath here or anything like that. I just went magnet and a magnet, and made that closure there as well. More details, more pictures, you'll be able to see more of what I've done over on the blog post at www.thesongbirdsstamper.co.uk. I'll pop the link into the video as well. so it's a little bit easier for you to find. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a go yourself at making your own envelopes for those very special greetings cards, for those very special occasions. But thanks for now for watching. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks then. Bye.